welcome back to Beyond the Destination. Do you have the right driver's license to drive or tow your RV? There are many states that require a different driver's license than a Class C, the normal driver's license. So today we're going to discuss that. I'm going to focus mostly on Texas because that's where we live and I'm familiar with that process. But like I said, there's many other states that also have different requirements for driving your RV or pulling your RV. This doesn't mean everybody that has an RV needs a different driver's license. The requirement for Texas is if you have any combination of vehicles with a gross combined weight rating of over 26,000 pounds and the vehicle being towed is over 10,000 pounds. So let's say you have a 1-ton truck and have a large fifth wheel, which is the case for us. Our combined gross weight is 28,000, which exceeds the 26,000 pounds limit for a Class A license. There's also a Class B license, and I'm reading this from the website from DPS Texas. Class B permits the holder to operate any single vehicle with a gross weight rating over 26,000 pounds and towing a vehicle not to exceed over 10,000 pounds. So when talking about these Class A and Class B driver's license, these are actually not actual CDLs. You don't need a commercial driver's license. These are the non-commercial Class A and Class B driver's license that you need, which actually makes the process a lot easier. So let's look at the numbers that we have here. So what do you need to look at? There's a number here, GVWR, gross vehicle weight rating. In our case, it's 12,400 pounds. So that's the weight rating of our truck. So right here I can find the weight rating of our fifth wheel, 16,000 pounds. So if you combine those two, we're at 28,400. So you have to combine the weight of your truck and then the weight of your towable in case of a towable. In our case, 12,400 plus 16,000 is 28,400. It is beyond the 26,000 that Texas requires for a Class A driver's license. So you have to go based on gross vehicle weight rating combined rather than the actual weight. So the process of getting a non-commercial Class A or Class B driver's license is the same as it would be for your original driver's license. So you have to do a written test first, followed by a road test. The written test is based on the CDL handbook for Texas, but you only need to study chapters 14 and 6. So you will only get questions about those two chapters. The written test is 20 questions, pretty straightforward. I would recommend going through the handbook twice, 3 times just to memorize a few things. Probably learn a few things too. There were some things in there that I wasn't aware of. Then do the written test. $11 is what you will have to pay to do the test. You'll get, like I said, 20 questions, and you'll have to answer 14 questions correctly. So you can fill on 6 questions and still pass the written test. The next step is the road test. The The challenge with the road test is getting it scheduled. When you go to the scheduling website for DPS, they do have a section for RV. That one is generally booked up for months. You don't need to schedule it that way. You can schedule it as a CDL. Since you already did the written test for the non-commercial driver's license, Class A or Class B, they will know that you're not actually doing a full CDL test, but the road test for the non-commercial driver's license. The road test itself is fairly simple. The initial step is to test your brakes. You can do that with your hand level on your brake controller. The next step for me was to drive straight forward up to a pylon. And then you have to back up straight for a certain distance, probably about 50 feet. Just take your time, go slow. Don't start steering too much. Just go. Since you already pulled forward straight, you should be lined up to go backwards straight. Not a big deal. And the next step is like a 5 to 10 minute road test. Just show that you're in control of your vehicle. Should not be a big deal. Once you finally have done that, you can legally drive or tow your RV. So to sum it up, this is all based on gross weight. I think there might be one or two states that go by actual weight, but most states go by gross weight. Not all states have these requirements, but several do. I think it's 14 states that do. So what can happen if you don't have the proper driver's license? You can get a ticket for not having a driver's license. Like your Class C driver's license technically is not valid if you fall into Class B or Class A category. So you could get a ticket. There's been talk about if you do get in an accident that insurance may or may not pay out. I don't have any personal experiences there, but I don't want to take the chance myself. I did wait quite a while to actually get the driver's license, but now that I do, I feel more comfortable, especially on long distances. So what if you drive through a state that has different requirements? Maybe you live in a state that doesn't require a Class A or Class B driver's license, and you go to Texas and you have a big fifth wheel, for example. The rules are that it goes by the state that you're licensed in. So if you're licensed in a state that has those requirements, you have to follow those requirements. If the state you're licensed in does not have the requirements, then you're fine. So it's state by state basis based on where you are licensed. So your domicile or where do you live, that's what drives what license you need. So yeah, there you have it. It's pretty straightforward. Do research based on the state that you're licensed in. Just go through the video if you do live in Texas to get the information. The DPS website has good information on it as well. But do your research, make sure you're licensed properly. If you have a small RV, don't worry about it. You would not fall in the category more than likely, unless you live in a state that has quite different requirements. Although I think it's kind of silly because the test is fairly basic. I did find it helpful to read through the CDL handbook to learn a few things. So I think I gained knowledge there that is beneficial. But I would recommend doing the right thing. Don't just ignore it. There are specific rules out there, and I would recommend following them. So if you live in a different state and it has odd requirements, leave a comment so we can share that with others. Uh, I would also like to ask you to like and subscribe. It helps our channel, doesn't cost you a thing. We're slowly trying to grow our channel and try to provide good information to RVers out there. We're also working on something completely different for RVers. It's too early in the process to give any details about it, but well, hopefully we can share something about that in the near future.